You know, we're living in a society. We're supposed to act in a civilized way.
Hello, people. I'm Dave Rubin. This is the Rubin Report. It's May 29th, 2024. We are living in a society. People are supposed to act in a civilized way, but we're going to do a bunch of jihadists here in America today. It's going to be a bit of an abbreviated show. The people who are on Locals know exactly why. I've got some stuff to do. We are live streaming, as always, on Rumble, Locals, and YouTube, RubinReport.locals.com. No post-game show because of that thing that I'm doing. And yes, the theme for today is we have a bunch of people, literal jihadists, here in America who are dumping garbage all over our great country. And we're going to cover, yeah, of course, that's going to include Rashida Tlaib and a bunch of other wackadoodles from this People's Conference for Palestine, which is basically a jihad terror conference. And they are telling us, they are quite literally, not my words, their words, they're telling us they want to bring intifada here, which is violent revolution, you know, suicide bombings, stabbings, murderings, beheadings, that sort of stuff. But that's kind of the base of the Democrat Party these days, and we'll get to all that. Before we do, let me talk to you guys about 8 Sleep. Guys, at this point, I'm sure you've heard of 8 Sleep. They're buzzworthy sleep technology called the Pod can be added to your existing mattress like a fitted sheet to automatically cool down or warm up each side of your bed and in turn improve your sleep quite dramatically. Today I want to share some exciting news because the Pod just got an upgrade. 8 Sleep has launched their newest generation of the Pod, Pod 4 Ultra. It cools, it heats, and it now elevates automatically. It's also clinically proven to give you up to 1 hour more of quality sleep every night. Pod 4 Ultra can cool down each side of the bed to 20 degrees below room temperature, keeping you and your partner cool even in a heat wave. There's just nothing like it on the market. Pod 4 Ultra also introduces an adjustable base that fits between your mattress and the bed frame to add reading and sleeping positions for the best unwinding experience. And for those snore-heavy nights, the Pod can detect your snoring and automatically lift your head by a few degrees to improve airflow and stop you or your partner snoring. Plus, with Pod 4 Ultra, you can leave your wearables on the nightstand. Its integrated and imperceptible sensors track your sleep time, sleep phases, heart rate, and HRV with up to 99% tracking accuracy. Just add it easily onto any bed. Head over to 8sleep.com/Rubin and use code Rubin to get $350 off. Pod 4 Ultra currently ships to US, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, and Australia. And I got this thing a couple weeks ago. It has completely changed my sleeping habits. And I mentioned last week, our air conditioning in the master bedroom has been broken. We're still missing a part. And it's been like 85 in my room every night. And I just chill out my bed and I'm sleeping like a baby. So there you go. All right. So yes, from a good night's sleep to a horrific nightmare, the jihadists are here in America. Let's start with a tweet from Andy No. Michigan Representative Rashida Tlaib is facing calls to be removed from Congress after it emerged that she spoke at a Detroit Palestine conference that honored terrorists and advocated for terrorist tactics. Surprise, surprise. If you've been living in a bubble, here is Rashida.
Y'all, welcome. Welcome to the most beautiful, blackest city in the country, the city of Detroit. I don't know if I need to remind you all, but Detroit, we birth movements, not just labor movements. We birth movements on environmental justice, on women's rights, and so much more. So welcome, gain strength from this amazing, beautiful black city that raised me. I don't need to tell you that you're on the right side. I don't need to. But I'll be damned if I wait 10 years before they apologize to all of you for doing what was right at this moment. Each year, our country, and I say our country because it is our country, sends billions of dollars to maintain an apartheid government and support the ongoing ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. It is disgraceful that the Biden administration and my colleagues in Congress continue to smear them for protesting to save lives, no matter faith or ethnicity. It is cowardly. But we're not going to forget in November, are we? The International Court of Justice just ruled that the Israeli government must stop its invasion of Rafah. But President Biden says what's happening in Gaza is not a genocide. Where's your red line, President Biden? You all, every single bullet, every single gun, every single weapon, bombs that we send is a sacrifice of our own schools here at home. Many of which, when I go into the schools, have garbage bags over their drinking fountains because they don't have clean water.
All right. Everything that communist said there was a lie. When we give money to Israel, every dollar has to be spent. It's only on military aid, and every dollar has to be spent in America. Okay, so we don't just give them money that they can do anything that they want with that comes at the expense of our schools. They have to spend it in America. You may not like that. I don't think it's good for America. I don't think it's good for Israel, but that's a separate conversation altogether. This woman is obsessed with Israel because she doesn't like the Jews. There are about 20 or so, maybe 30 Arab Muslim majority nations, if not even more. They all practice apartheid. There are virtually no Christians living free. Ask the Coptic Christians in Egypt. Ask what once was a Christian majority nation of Lebanon. How's it going for the Christians or anywhere else? Anywhere where atheists or non-believers or anyone outside of the Muslim majority in these countries are treated absolutely horribly. Israel is the only place that has all their signs in Arabic, English, and in Hebrew, where Arabs, Muslim Arabs sit on the Supreme Court. Okay, you guys get all of that. The reason I'm showing you this, and we're going to show you more from the conference, is they are trying to bring jihad here. Israel is the little fish. It is the appetizer in this situation that they are bringing to all of us. Because if you don't think the Jews have something to do with Israel, wait till they figure out what Americans have to do with America. They're coming for everybody. All right, here she is, and she's just, all right, so don't vote for Biden. Congratulations. Actually, I don't think any of you should vote for Biden. Let's get Trump back. Things will be a lot better. But I guarantee you, this woman, when they start blowing up buses here and when Palestinians who invented blowing up planes and everything else and stabbings and terrorism as a, quote, legitimate means of resisting, she will be for it. She won't actually say she's for it, but she absolutely will be for it. All she had to do at that conference was say, Hamas, we're for the Palestinians, we're for the Gazans. Could you just release the hostages so we should end this? Except that is not what she wants. What she wants is the upending of the United States. I know you guys know that. Here she is going after Israel, America, the Biden administration, and the rest of it.
President Biden, I hope you hear us loud and clear. Attacking the authority of the International Criminal Court and interfering in the legal process is nothing more than an attempt to prevent the genocidal maniac Netanyahu and his senior Israeli officials from being held accountable for those crimes against humanity. You are an enabler, President Biden. But wait, you know when my colleagues are outraged? They're outraged over the protest on college campuses in our country. They're more outraged than that, than the atrocities happening right now on the ground in Palestine, the war crimes. Y'all, there's no universities in Gaza. We all know this. We say it over and over again. And now, if they get their way, they're going to silence the universities here at home.
Dave, do some thoughtful political analysis. Listen, that disgusting bitch, what she's trying to do is import ancient hatreds into the United States, and she's doing it right now, and no Democrat has the balls to stop her. That really is the problem. Let's not forget, Republicans had this guy, George Santos. He wore weird socks or something. He's no longer. They censured him, and he's no longer in Congress. But the Democrats have allowed this to fester, and it is getting worse and worse, and they will soon replace the American flag with the Palestinian flag, which is nothing more than a flag of terror. Video. It's actually hard to listen to because this is happening in America on our watch, and we know that really nobody is going to do anything about it. Note that when they show you their sign there, it has all of Israel, so they know what they mean when they say river to the sea. Note that there's not an American flag anywhere in sight. They don't talk about the Constitution. They don't talk about free speech. They talk about exporting their struggle, and she means their struggle over there. Of course, there also is no genocide. No army in the history of the world has fed the people that have kidnapped and murdered and raped its women and its children, as Israel is doing now, and dropped leaflets and texted people and moved to safe zones so we can try to find our people. And by the way, they're literally every day now, they're finding dead bodies of hostages. So they had every right and duty to go in there and do it. But what the real issue is that there's another generation being brainwashed right now. Like this whole generation got brainwashed with this nonsense, but there's another generation being brainwashed right in front of our face. Oh, it's just disgusting. If you love me, raise it high. Call for the genocide of about 8 million Jews, and you'll have to kill a bunch of Christians and Muslims too. Do it, yay, woo, do it. Of course, all of this is deeply connected to what's been going on at our college campuses for years and years and years. Here is a girl by the name of Roua Daas, who's a PhD candidate at Penn State. And here she is calling for revolution in the United States. Yes, they mean violent revolution. They don't fully say it, but it's what she means. And listen to the cadence and inflection she talks with. They have trained them to talk in a very specific way as they are calling for this violent revolution.
We have worked to agitate our campuses and to illuminate these forces. But what we have learned in this moment, what has been reaffirmed in this moment, is that we cannot be isolated to campuses. And student organizers have encouraged other students on their campus and the general public to question or outright turn against the state, right? Students have brought the war home. Students have also used mass demonstrations and disruptions on public property to capture public attention and then force the state and police to repress us in full public view. Students have used divestment not only as a strategy for material change, right? Not only as a way to weaken the state of Israel, but also as a pressure point to reveal the non-democracy and the US imperial agenda to the public. This is the building of a revolutionary movement. And students feel that, right? Students feel the revolution. They feel it in their blood, they feel it in their soul, they feel it in their heart, and ultimately, that is what drives us. Students are at the core of these encampment movements, right? Students are at the core of these direct actions. Students are at the core of these mobilizations. And so what students have learned in this moment is how to exist on their campuses in disruptive ways. How to build revolutionary power, and how to utilize leverage points which force universities to meet their demands.
All right. So again, it's all scripted, it's all trained, it's well funded, all of those things. I have no doubt there are connections between Rashida Tlaib and terrorist organizations that if anyone just does a little bit of digging with Students for Justice in Palestine and a whole bunch more people will find stuff. Obviously, she is a terrorist supporter, but they have breeded a generation of young girls like this. Do you think that girl wants to usher in an America that you want to live in 10 years from now? No, she's saying she wants revolution right now. She wants American imperialism to end and a revolution to happen right here. And guess what, guys? There are very few revolutions that aren't bloody. There are very few revolutions that don't end with some beheadings. And that's what these people are offering to young minds. And we better damn well do something about it, or we better just build a freaking fence around Detroit. Maybe that would work. However, it's not just that they've been blown apart as it comes to American imperialism and everything else. We were trying to figure out how to fit this video in yesterday. Check this out. This is a bunch of NYU students at their graduation. If you look at a girl like that, what did she learn in college? I don't know. At Penn State, she learned how to become a jihadist. Congratulations. There's a whole bunch of worthless stuff that you can become if you become a college graduate these days. Check this out.
My name is Jacob, and my concentration is environmental science and sustainable business.
Hi, my name is Lex, and my concentration is the performance of self.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. My concentration is creative direction, production, and narrative through the arts. performance, and written word.
Hi, my name is Karina Gomez, and my concentration is in journalism and Latin American studies with an emphasis in human rights, collective memory, and political violence.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Lee, and I studied the sociology of environmental communication.
Hi, my name is Reed, and I study music business and gender studies.
Hi, my name is Dominique, and I studied care politics with a minor in disability studies.
My name is Elliot Wright, and my concentration is art as a social mechanism.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and my concentration is dramatic writing and theatrical adaptation.
My name is Noah Loyacano, and my concentration is equilibrium or negotiated paradox.
Hi, my name is Sophie Lopez, and my concentration is titled Queering and Decolonizing Theater Practice.
Hi, my name is Maya, and my concentration is journalism, post-colonial studies, and psychoanalysis.
Hi, I'm Eloise. I'm graduating with a concentration in philosophy of science and theater.
My name is Amina, and my concentration is titled The Criminal Mind, which is surrounded on criminology and applied psychology.
Hi, my name is Juliana. My concentration is international business and fashion through sustainable development. Yay!
How you doing, college dropout making mad cash in the real world? These people, everything has failed them. The systems have failed them. Their teachers have failed them. Their parents have failed them. All of those useless degrees, utterly useless degrees that they went to NYU for and went into debt. And then, of course, the Biden administration will somehow forgive their debt, which isn't even a real thing. You're just pushing the debt elsewhere. They are going to become baristas at Starbucks, and they'll do that for about 6 months. They will then tell you that Starbucks is part of the evil capitalist system. They will strap on a suicide bomb, and they will blow up a bus. That's what the future is for these people. And if only we could have been warned about this, like 40 years ago, that there was a huge problem across academia, across the ahistorical lunacy that was ripping apart everything and everything else. And we were warned. This video is going super viral right now. This is really incredible. This is video of a 28-year-old Benjamin Netanyahu. So this is about 40 years ago, being asked about the Palestinians, a Palestinian state, and broadly peace in the Middle East. And you see if any of this jives with the same exact things that are happening right now.
Let me quote you what the PLO Information Office said in a Dutch paper in 1977, in May 5th.
77?
May 5th, 1977, yes. The statement was very simple. Our objective remains the destruction of the Zionist state of Israel. So let's keep in mind that what we're talking about here is not the attempt to build a state, but to destroy one.
Do the Palestinians have a right to a separate state?
Now, no one is denying that there are Palestinian Arabs. There's a very distinguished Palestinian Arab sitting right next to me. But the Palestinians themselves, in the Palestinian National Covenant, the very first article, say that the people of Palestine, quote, are part of the Arab nation. Well, let's look at the Arab nation. It has 21 states, an area roughly the size of the United States, and 1/6 of the entire world's wealth. Now, add to that the fact that there already exists a Palestinian state, and that is Jordan, 60% of whose population is Palestinian. I think it's quite interesting that Yasser Arafat and King Hussein, who are bitter enemies, agree on one thing, that Jordan is a Palestinian state. So what we're talking about is a demand for a 22nd Arab state and a second Palestinian state.
What should be done with the Palestinians on the West Bank? There's a problem, so what should be done about it, in your opinion?
Well, I think that the Palestinians in the West Bank are going to be offered the full human rights, the full civil rights, as no Arabs are offered in the Middle East. No Arabs whatsoever have any full human rights or the right to vote for their own government. Those Arabs who lived in Israel in the pre-67 boundaries are the only Arabs in the Middle East who offer that right, and I'm all in favor of having the same Arabs living in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip being offered such a right in the final peace agreement.
Can we have peace in the Middle East?
Very briefly, please.
Yes, I sincerely hope so. Look, I'm 28 years old. I've had to defend my country in 2 wars and in many battles. Nobody wants peace more than Israel. But the stumbling block to the road for peace is this demand for a PLO state, which will mean more war, which will mean more violence in the Middle East. And I sincerely believe, if this demand is abandoned, we can have real and genuine peace.
Thank you.
Isn't that interesting? 40 years ago, there's a 28-year-old Benjamin Netanyahu whose brother had been killed as he was trying to rescue hostages in another Palestinian terrorist attack, talking about peace, talking about voting rights and equality and everything else. compare that right there to the hysteric lunacy of decolonization and the rest of it that we're hearing now in Detroit in the United States of America in 2024. They have had chances for a state. There is an apartheid state in the Middle East. It's called Jordan, where the Hashemite kingdom rules over the Palestinian population. Or go to Lebanon, where Palestinians aren't allowed to own land or have a series of jobs and everything else. But the progressives of today want to destroy the actually only remotely progressive place in all of the Middle East. I do want to get to some thoughts and questions from the Rubin Report community, but I didn't want to end on sort of just, all right, we showed you a lot of American jihad, not the best thing for a Tuesday, right? It's important that we point it out so that you know what's going on here. But we are going to show you some beautiful Americana in just a second. Let me talk to you about GCU and then we'll get to that. Guys, GCU, a private Christian university in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, believes that we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. GCU believes in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. GCU equips you to serve others in ways that promote human flourishing and create a ripple effect of transformation for generations to come. By honoring your career calling, your impact, your family, your friends, and your community. Change the world for good by putting others before yourself to glorify God. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's online, on-campus, and hybrid learning environments are designed to help you achieve your unique academic, personal, and professional goals. With over 330 academic programs as of last December, GCU meets you where you are and provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Let it flourish. Find purpose at Grand Canyon University, private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/Dave. Sorry, I told you we have Americana for you. We do, but I just have to show you one other thing, connecting sort of the jihad of today to the Americana of yesteryear. Obviously, it was Memorial Day on Monday. Every American with their head remotely attached, and I know these people are into beheadings, knows that Memorial Day is where we honor the fallen soldiers, meaning the dead soldiers who were killed in action defending our rights in our country and all of that stuff. Well, unfortunately, guys, Ilhan Omar and Cori, two of the members of the Hamas caucus, they had to delete their Memorial Day tweets after they figured out what was what. This is from N Wokeness. Ha ha, holy shit. Ilhan Omar and Representative Cori Bush just deleted their Memorial Day tweets after revealing they have no clue what it is. I mean, this is so absolutely extraordinary. Ilhan Omar, on Memorial Day, we honor the heroic men and women who served our country. We owe them more than gratitude. They have more than earned access to quality mental health services, job opportunities, housing assistance, and the benefits they were promised. Of course, they are all dead, Ilhan Omar. They died defending this country that you so hate. And Cori Bush did the exact same thing. This Memorial Day and every day we honor the veterans in St. Louis. We must invest in universal health care, affordable housing, comprehensive mental health services, for our veterans as we work to build a world free of war and violence. I mean, on top of the fact that she just wants to usher in more government programs, they are all dead. They are all dead. And it's just, this stuff is here. It is just here. But America used to be great. It was serious. It was great. It was brave. It was a place of imagination and ingenuity. And that is what we've got to get to once we defeat this evil that is here at our doorstep right now. Do we have a compilation of some good stuff from America? We do? Cool. You guys get it. I love the sci-fi element of that. Like, we have to choose. We're at an interesting place of choosing. We're at a time of choosing, right? Like, an old world is dying, a new world is beginning, but we can still bring the good stuff. We can bring that spirit of innovation, that the incredible technologies that we now have, and we're entering this crazy zone where AI is about to kick in and all of these things. And as you know, I'll do the sci-fi thing all day and all the dystopian futures we can get to, but with a little imagination, a little ingenuity, and just leaning back on our founding documents, not leaning back on them, with standing up for our founding documents and believing in the principles that our founders endowed by our Creator, that they wrote the documents that would free us hundreds of years later. We can make the choice. Like, do you want to go into that future with a great America and it'll be messy, but there will be chances, and we will go to stars and all of this stuff? Do you want to do that, or do you want to be a part of the impending jihad? Like, we are going to have to decide, and I suspect it literally means every single one of us will have to decide which way we want to go, because they're not going to stop. Right? They're not going to stop. So we better start blazing some new trails, and we better freaking do it quick. All right, guys, we're going to get to some thoughts and questions from you. Let me talk about PDS debt real quick. Guys, you know that getting into debt is easy. Well, getting out, it ain't so easy. The system is set up so that you don't. The anxiety, the stress, it can be soul crushing. I get all that. And I'm here to say you don't have to do it alone. There is a way out. Help is available thanks to PDS Debt. PDS Debt has customized options for anyone struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills. If you're making payments every month on your debt and your balances aren't going down, this program's for you. PDS Debt provides options that consolidate your debts into one low monthly payment. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, and there's no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair credit accepted. Save thousands in interest fees. Pay off your debt in a fraction of the time. PDS Debt is a top-rated company on Google and is an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. PDS Debt cares about helping you get out of debt. Check out all their reviews and see how many mention PDS Debt employees by name. It's incredible. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/Rubin. It takes only 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/Rubin, pdsdebt.com/Rubin. And now back to me. All right, a couple thoughts from the Rubin Report Locals.com community. Florida man Chuck says, have you and your team thought about getting people outside of the, quote, normal circles on the show for interviews or roundtables? TikTok is full of good people, such as the older millennial who are not conservative or Democrat, who call out the bullshit like a lot of us do. I think it would be good to hear from people who do not have a career in the political or social battles that are just sick and tired of the same old garbage. I have some suggestions if needed. Well, Florida man Chuck and anyone in the locals community, please give us those suggestions. I absolutely am interested in that, especially as we get closer to the election. Just finding, I always say this, I'm always interested in people that sort of the battle comes to them, a teacher who stands up and starts talking about things because they said something that was politically incorrect, or even an actor or whatever. But I know you're talking largely not necessarily about public people like actors or comedians that wake up or that sort of thing. But anyone that is saying something interesting in the fight, yeah, I'm less interested in talking to politicians than I ever have been. Also, when I started doing the show strictly as an interview show, there were very few long-form interview shows, and there are many now. So I'm always looking for those new avenues. It's partly because I want to be able to show you guys things, but it's also because I want to be able to think in new ways for myself, and I want to keep myself expanding and all the rest of it. So yes, absolutely give us some new people. And it's weird because we're at this very strange moment. I'm talking about all of this important stuff every day. I know you guys deeply care about it. And in some ways, I care less about politics than ever. There is an existential battle happening here. That is what's interesting to me, not how many votes this or that bill got in Congress, which is largely dysfunctional altogether. Curtis says, Dave, what are your thoughts if Trump is found guilty with respect to his polling numbers and chance? What are your thoughts if Trump is found guilty with respect to his polling numbers and chances in November? It seems like the Dems have pushed the envelope of reality beyond the twilight zone. If he is found guilty in any of these trials, which I just don't think is going to happen, I don't think it'll stop anyone from voting for him. There might be a sliver of people that'll be like the final proof that he actually did do something and they were getting close to voting for him and I can't vote for a convicted felon. But I think it is proven consistently, these cases and pushing him off the ballots has proven to be the rocket fuel behind his campaign. And now just look at the shows we've done over the last, couple of weeks. it's getting bigger. This isn't just the MAGA base anymore. This is people in the Bronx. This is athletes who are waking up. This is all sorts of people from every segment of society. And why is that? Because Trump is like, I don't care if you're black, brown, or whatever the hell you are. I think that was his exact quote. I love America. Let's get this place going again. Let's make sure you have jobs. Let's have law and order. That's it. Like, it doesn't have to get much more complex than that. I think it's the right message. Biden is continuing to break down. The base absolutely hates him. All these jihadists think that Biden is a bad guy. So you see, like, I think at this point, look, I'm never going to get overconfident because God only knows what happens, right? Biden could drop dead tomorrow, and then we have to think about this in a whole new way. They could there's a million things they could do before then. But right now, I think the overriding message of what Trump represents is resonating with a lot more people. Tony says, I'm curious to get Dave's thoughts on the Libertarian Party tacking to the far left. Their nominee, Chase Oliver, is a progressive activist who supported lockdown/masking, hormone blockers for children, and allowing biological men to compete in women's sports. That sounds like the antithesis of libertarianism. I don't think it's even worth talking about this guy who's the Libertarian nominee. The Libertarians had a really interesting chance this year. If they really wanted to make a serious dent, what they could have done is just cut a deal with RFK. I don't know exactly what it would have looked like. He's not a pure libertarian, but you could have brought him in, said you're on all 50 ballots, and hopefully you will do some things. You know, he is good at hacking away at the state and suing some of these organizations, these CIA, FBI, NIH, all the rest of it. So like he could have done something in a libertarian mindset there, even though he's obviously not a libertarian. They bring Trump there, and then the audience largely booed Trump. And as we went through yesterday, Trump has been the most libertarian president we've had, certainly in my lifetime. Anti-war, lowering taxes, things of that nature. You guys get all of that, right? So leaving the COVID lockdowns to the states, et cetera. So they had an opportunity to level up, and I think most people just look at them as a clown car right now. And they got 1.2% with Joe Jorgensen last time, and my guess is that's roughly what they're going to get this time. And Trump even said it to their faces. Hey, you guys want to get 3 to 4% every year? And he was being quite bullish on what they get because they never get 4%. Then go ahead and choose somebody else, but you could choose me and you could win, and I'll do everything I can on the libertarian side of things. And again, as I said yesterday, who was one of Trump's #1 backers? One of the reasons that I was able to come around on Trump second time around, Rand Paul, who is as libertarian as they get in the United States government. So you can either have your utopian 15-year-old fantasy of how the government and the world works, or you can do something real. And unfortunately, they didn't go on that road. They didn't go down that road. Tigerbug says, I would really like a deeper dive into Democrat choices since it's becoming so obvious Joe Biden is declining rapidly and really can't be the candidate in November. Why isn't there a regular primary in the Democratic Party where voters get to choose a candidate? Is this the way it's always been? Is Biden being kept running as long as possible so another candidate can be substituted at the last minute and it'll be harder for voters to learn about him or her? Some voters may think, thank God it's not Biden or Trump. I'll vote for a ham sandwich. Of course, I'm voting for Donald Trump, but this feels to me like a Democrats' October surprise. I mean, yes, you just gave better political analysis than you're getting on CNN at any given day. I think that they're pushing, first off, think how deeply corrupt the Democrat Party is. The Democrat Party, everyone knows they rigged it. I hate Bernie. I despise Bernie. I think there's a special place in hell for Bernie. But everyone knows that the entire party apparatus moved against Bernie to get Hillary. And then Bernie's just a bitch at the end of the day. He's an old socialist bitch. So then he's still in effect a Democrat and caucuses with the Democrats and everything else. They are deeply corrupt. And Biden represents the machine, right? And Biden, they just have to push him there. And then they know there's no way he can be president for another 4 years. Every week this thing is getting worse. But they at least want to install him. Then you get Kamala, who will just be a puppet. You bring in somebody else. Like, none of these things are conspiracy theories. That there are meetings at the White House and other places in DC where they have a long list. They have to, right? They have to. Even if they loved Biden, you have to have a long list of ideas of what would happen if his brain just explodes or he falls down the stairs or whatever else. So I think they're just trying to push him through, but it would not, their convention in August, I think it's the first week in August, it is going to be, is it in July or August? It's in July also? Yeah, they're both in July this year. It is going to be an absolute circus. It is in Chicago. Chicago is the gun murder capital of the world. You have a base, this radical jihadist base that hates him. The old school Dems, many of them are now becoming Republicans in a sort of wide tent Trump thing. It's just going to be an absolute circus. And just watch the tricks that the media and the entire machine will do to make it seem like somehow they're still the good guys and the orange man is the white supremacist. All right, that was a bit of an abbreviated show today. No post-game show due to some travels. You locals people know where I am at the moment. Part one of my interview with the great Gad Saad is up right now. Full things on Locals, absolutely ad-free, and we will be back in action tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.